Now let's move back to Canada, where McGill University provost has now condemned the student council for the targeting of Jewish council member Jordyn Wright. Wright was threatened with impeachment for accepting a free trip to Israel from Hillel of Montreal. But while the student council may be walking back its statements, it certainly isn't apologetic. And here now to discuss is the head of the Israel desk at NGO Monitor, Itai Reuveni. Itai, thank you for being with us now.
Thank you.
How common are incidents like this, and what's driving them?
So many people will say what's driving those incidents in the campuses specifically is just blatant anti-Semitic ideology mixed with some, ideologies that try to save the world and free the world from the totalitarian regimes. Israel, this is how they consider the worst regime in the world. And we see young people with zero knowledge on the conflict, just walking after those powerful NGOs that's working in the campuses in order to mobilize them to hate everything that deal with Israel and the Jews.
So how common are incidents like these, though? Is this a growing issue? Because here we see, on the one hand, for example, the McGill incident. Then we also have in Oberlin College now, a monument by SJP and JVP to the terrorists.
You have a list. It's a list. Every day there is a different incident in a different campus. And by the way, it doesn't matter if it's coming from the right or from the left. Just what matters is the result. Targeted Jews. And to answer your question, when you're zooming out and look in all situations, specifically on the liberal campuses, we can see that it's a fruitful ground. The authorities do nothing to prevent it. They justifying most of the time the incidents. Free speech, it's inside the university, it's part of the university charter, let the students solve their problems, things like that. But what we see is a growing phenomena that no one have the real solution in order that Jews and Israelis will feel safe in the campuses.
Well, I think it's ironic that the argument is free speech, but meanwhile they're using that argument to infringe on the free speech of the Jews on the campus.
Of course.
So, what is Israel doing to fight this sort of this growing trend? Is there anything Israel really can do from afar?
So I think the solution, and it is not to go only to North America, but also for the situation in Europe, which is more violent in a way, in the streets, is that it has to come from two sides, from bottom up and from the authorities, from the policy level. For example, we had a vote in the French Parliament, the French lower Parliament, that recognized the IRA definition, the definition of anti-Semitism, the working definition. So this is from up, and from down we should invest more money, more human capital on the people on the ground, the students that provide them tools, providing tools to know who are those powerful NGOs that people walking after.
With respect to the from above aspect, you mentioned France, for example, which is perfect for this. Is it possible that that's maybe even causing more harm than good? Because, for example, we see now one of the only Jewish members of parliament in France now is getting death threats after the passage of this new resolution.
Yeah, so I think the argument of it's causing more damage is not has nothing to do with the reality. The reality is that no one, until now, was able to define what is anti-Semitism, what is modern anti-Semitism. And this lack of definition caused problems mainly to the Jewish communities all over the world, from the West Coast in the US until East Europe, and even in other places in Asia and Africa. It's a problem. And we need to define what is anti-Semitism. Only then we can provide the solutions, whether it's up or down.
Itai, thank you very much for
Thank you very much.